Monday Night Madness on your way. You know I am. I'm Andre the Torch Robinson. What's up? What's up? Monday Night Madness. Wild Monday after Wild Sunday. You know what it is, man. Sports talk at its finest. We will talk the NFL playoffs and a whole lot more. Make sure you like and share right now. We are on YouTube. But I got to introduce my guys first. Before I go anywhere. Before I do anything, got to introduce my guys. This guy right here is a guy that I always revere. Most consistent one, Dalton D-Man Smith in the house. What up?
What's everyone? Yes, I know my team didn't make the playoffs. I know they're not going to Super Bowl, but I'm still representing the Saints. That's all I got to say.
Absolutely. Now, got to introduce my other guy right here with the Rise Up family shirt. You see him looking real militant. I don't even know what color that is. Is that neon? Is that
it's neon? I like to stand out. That's why.
Woo,
green. I'm gonna hit y'all with something new, man.
Now you see that standout shirt right there. This guy definitely stands out. You know who he is. He is the host of the Friday night extravaganza, the Alphabets football talk show. My guy Marcus the Alphabets is in the house. What's good, Marcus?
What's poppin', family? How you doing?
Man, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And of course, I got to turn this up a little bit for him. I got a brother who is not a guest at all. But if you want to talk about standing out, this team and this guy has stood out all year. Of course I had to bring him. He's looking like Cool Joe right now.
You know what time it is, baby. Houday!
Representing the Houday Nation. The AFC champions. The guy who stood by him this whole time. I got my guy, Blaze.
That's right.
And he should be
right
the
now.
Monster Machine Gabrick.
I'm gonna let you know right now. It feels pretty good on Cloud 9.
Absolutely. Speaking of which, we're going to get right into the show. I want to shout out Daddy O's Pizza first and foremost. Thank you very much for supporting the Rise Up family and the shows that they do. Shout out to Miss Goodie's Restaurant too as well. Shout out to them for definitely supporting. Shout out to the Challenger News and all the other platforms that support, what we do. But we got to get into this thing, man. We got to talk about the Bengals and the Chiefs first. We got to kick this thing off right. Make sure you like and share because my boy Blaze is in the building. The Alpha's in the house. And the most consistent one is here too. You guys, I'm going to turn it to you guys. And you guys can tell me how y'all felt about last night's Bengals AFC Championship win over the Kansas City Chiefs.
Whoever wants to start it off. You guys know how I'm feeling. I want to hear how you guys are feeling about it.
Well, you know what? To the victor goes the spoils, man. To the victor goes the spoils. These are your boys. So why don't you enlighten us?
Okay. Yeah, I'll start it off definitely. So I think you saw me come in with the cigar. I'm new to this. I'm 32 years old, so if anybody knows the recent history of the Bengals, for 31 years, we haven't had a playoff victory. We kicked it off with the playoff victory, and that felt great. And now we're going to the Super Bowl. But let's get into this game a little bit. Kansas City Chiefs, a very, very, very good team. I said it earlier on other shows that they are a better team on paper. I believed in my Bengals, though, because we've been playing, I feel like, the best team, as emphasized on the word team. Kansas City had a shot. They were up 21-3, and then at the half, they, threw it behind the line of scrimmage to Tyreek Hill. Got stopped. They could have been going into the half at 28-3 or 24-3 if you're taking the 3 points. That was a game changer right there. And then they got the ball at the half. We stopped them there, and just the rest is history. I'm very, very excited. It's no secret about it. The Bengals have a bad offensive line. I've stuck behind my decision before the draft of Jamar Chase. I think it's paying off. We definitely need to work on the offensive line in the offseason, but I'm just feeling great. Feeling great. Good win.
All right. Go ahead, Dalton.
Go ahead, Dalton. Go ahead.
Everybody thought it was going to be it was 21-3 against the Chiefs. It's the new Atlanta Falcons, if you ask me. And by the way, shout out to Eli Apple for stopping Tyreek Hill. You know, that I don't know about that play call, the screen pass before the halftime. But they've been pressuring on Patrick Mahomes, took a sack. And also, since I'm wearing Saints beanie, shout out to former Saints player Von Bell for intercepting Patrick Mahomes in overtime.
With 13 seconds, it was 13 seconds in
13
overtime.
seconds.
And I definitely want to emphasize that because last week with the Bills and Chiefs, big talk about the overtime rule. You know, I'm not going to say we debunked that rule, but we debunked it.
Yep.
What do you say? I don't want to tell you I told you so when I told you so.
Yeah. How can I say this politely? You know?
Look, I've been telling people this. I posted this up on the Alphabets Football Show group on Facebook. The football gods giveth, and the football gods taketh away. The same things that will make you laugh will make you cry. That's what it is. If you keep look, football is basically about the law of averages. That's what it is. You get a good call, you get a bad call. You win by the skin of your teeth, you lose by the skin of your teeth. That's the way football works. So if you don't want to complain about something when it works for you, don't complain when it goes against you. Okay? Look, when Patrick Mahomes makes incredible throws, when he's doing no-look passes, when he's running back 15 yards and it worked, and he extending a play and it works. Okay, well, the same difference when he runs backward and gets sacked for a 15-yard loss. When you play a helter-skelter style of play, eventually that catches up with you. And the playoffs are where things where you have a deficiency, they're brought out. They're usually they come to the Chiefs. They got by last week in a thriller against the Buffalo Bills. They were elated. Okay, we're about to talk about another game about a team who's been getting by on the skin of their teeth. I don't want to mention no names or nothing, San Francisco 49ers. But when it works for you, it works. Those deficiencies that you don't work on, they will come back and bite you in the ass. And I think that's what happened. Patrick Mahomes, I love him. He's one of my favorite players. He cost him that game. And just like when we give him credit when things go good, we got to give him the blame when things go bad. Andy Reid, bad play calling. You were running the ball very successfully with Jerick McKinnon. You got pass happy, which is something that he did a lot with the Philadelphia Eagles when he was the coach there. They could have grinded out the clock and probably put you all away. In the first half, you're throwing the ball 3 straight times on the 3 or 4 yard line. Why would you do that? Why? Why would you do that? Throw the ball into the end zone. Why are you throwing the ball behind the line of scrimmage? Throw it down. Maybe you get a pass interference and you get the ball on the 1 yard line, half the distance to the goal. So I just thought it was bad play calling. Kudos to the Bengals for doing it. There's been a long time coming. Have been for many years at the basement in the AFC North. Kind of been bullied by the Steelers and Ravens, and hell, even the Browns have had a little bit more success. You were kind of at the bottom, and now you're starting to have success. You've drafted well. Homegrown talent. Joe Burrow, #1 pick. Jamar Chase, first-round pick. That was questioned. I questioned. I thought you should have whipped Penei Sewell. Me and you, we talked about this, Blaze. Just a lot of the players that you've gotten over there, and it's T. Higgins, great pick. Ozuma, you got some really good players over there. So congratulations and shout out to the Cincinnati Bengals.
All right. I'm going to be very honest. I'm going to kick this one more time to Blaze. Blaze, I need you to give me some in-depth on what you actually thought was going to happen in this game. And then what happened? Was it exactly how you pictured it? Was it exactly how you saw it going?
It is not how I saw it going because I've seen this exact scenario play out the first time. I said the first time we played the Chiefs, we fell down at the half. We came back and won. I thought it was very, very critical that we needed to get a more aggressive on defense. We were playing a soft zone the whole first half. We were giving up huge chunk yards. One of the things I said we needed to do was these guys, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, they got phenomenal players. They're gonna make plays, but we need to try and limit the big plays. And we were just playing very, very soft zone, and it wasn't working the first half. I was calm. I was calm at the half, especially when we stopped them from getting that touchdown. That would have been crucial. 28-3 is a lot different than 21-3, and just the momentum swing from that point. But when we went to the half at 21-3, I was confident. I go to Dave & Buster's and watch the game. I play the mini hoops, and that's what calms my nerves. I went and set like a record on the mini hoops machine. So I said, if these guys can be as cool, calm, and collective as I am right now and come out in the second half, then they're going to be all right. And they did exactly that. They came out cool, calm, collected. They made plays in the second half. They played the defense I wanted to see in the first half and the second half. So kudos to those guys for being down and coming back against a very, very good team a second time this season.
Listen, I don't know if y'all hear that in the background, but that's how I feel right now. Where the love go? Where the love go? 5, 4, 3, 2. I let one go. And the one that's left is the Cincinnati Bengals. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot of people in Western New York hurt right now. They feeling the pain after this one. Josh Allen, he tweeted pain, the word pain, for a reason. And I'm going to tell you, I got to give the Cincinnati Bengals props. I want to say this right now while we on Monday Night Madness because this is the show of madness. Like and share the show. We are on YouTube. We on Facebook too. The fire starter's in the building. Now I'm about to fire start because I see a lot of heads just looking and rolling. I'm about to get Marcus started. You ready? Marcus the Alphabets. Are you ready to put some respect on the Cincinnati Bengals name, sir? I just want to know, sir.
Look, I mean, it's been an incredible journey, but to me, you still got to finish the job. And I mean, I considering where the Bengals have come from. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm just giving a hypothetical. If you make it to the Super Bowl and then you get blown out in the Super Bowl, it really, all of those feelings go back out the window. But it's an incredible accomplishment for the city of Cincinnati, but you got to finish the job. You got to finish the job. I got into a debate with somebody. Well, who wants it more? It's like, dude, the other guy wants to win too. The other guy wants to win too. But to get here is incredible. But you got to finish the job. It's not the Indianapolis 499. It's the Indianapolis 500. That's what my coach used to say. So you got to finish the job. You got to complete it. So. Great job so far, but we're gonna break it down. We're gonna do the Alphabets football show on the Friday before the Super Bowl. Blaze is gonna be on there. I'm sure he's gonna give us some of that good knowledge over there. But yeah, you got to finish the job. You got to finish the job. Not the 499, the Indianapolis 499, the Indianapolis 500. So we'll see how it goes for them.
And I'll piggyback off that real quick. I mean, my friends, they've been telling me like, hey, like even if you guys lose in the Super Bowl, like this is very, very exciting, and like you should just be happy with this. And I gotta let everyone know there can only be one. There's only one Super Bowl champion. Getting to the Super Bowl is a great feat, and win or lose, it's wonderful. But I want the whole thing. I want it all. Second. No one remembers second place. It's all about being number one.
They asked Tom Brady one time. They asked him about despite all of the championships that he won, and the one he said that hurt the most was the one when they were 18-0, and then they lost that last game, and could have broken the record and went 19-0. So it's great, but you still want to go out there and finish the job. So I'm not into moral victories. I don't do moral victories. That's just me.
Me neither. Trust me.
So I'm gonna be very honest with you. When I look at the box score, I'm looking at the box score here. Cincinnati dominated the second half. My thing is, again, and this is why Western New York is hurt. I don't want to put that out there. I'm gonna make sure I put this out there as much as possible. Western New York is hurt right now. You want to know why they hurt? Because the Cincinnati Bengals was able to do what the Bills was not able to do, and that's duplicate what they did the first time. The Bengals duplicated exactly what they did the first time when they played against the Chiefs in Cincinnati. They did it in Arrowhead. The first game, the Chiefs only scored 3 points in the second half. The second game, the Chiefs only scored 3 points in the second half as well. And that line dominated. I felt like the defensive line was a big reason why the Cincinnati Bengals were as successful as they were in the second half of this game, because Hubbard and Henderson just went ape shit crazy. Excuse my French, but they did. They went ape shit crazy. Patrick Mahomes was being pressured. He's getting dropped on his butt. He was making error throws. And then, of course, the 13 seconds is so coined that he would throw an interception 13 seconds into the overtime. Because guess what I watched Cincinnati do? They played the cover 4. The Bills didn't play. They rushed the 3. They had the 4 underneath, the 4 over the top. And sure enough, the guy that was over the top is the one who made the tap to Von Bell, the help underneath, to get the interception while he's trying to force the ball to Tyreek Hill. So I can appreciate what the Cincinnati Bengals did. And does this put them next year over the Buffalo Bills? Yeah, I think so, because they beat the Kansas City Chiefs twice. They did it twice. They got the job done. Coaching made the right calls, and they also made the right adjustments, which we have seen the Cincinnati Bengals. This is why I was so high on the Cincinnati Bengals this season, is because I've seen a lot of the adjustments in the coaching from a leadership standpoint with Zach Taylor. I've seen a lot of that this year. They handled the AFC North. Let's be clear. I don't want to hear no excuses. Okay, I don't want to hear no excuses. Get them they props where they props is due. They handled the Steelers. They handled the Ravens. They handled the Browns when they needed to.
I think sometimes you have to look at matchups too. Here's the one thing, and as incredible as the Buffalo Bills played last week, I think the one thing that set. Now I think Buffalo has a better defense. I think they have a better defense, but I would dare say that the Bengals have more team speed on defense, because that seems to be the issue when the Bengals are playing when the Bills are playing the Chiefs is the team speed. It just seems like Tyreek Hill gives them fits. Also, one thing is the Bengals' ability. They also, despite having a high-flying, high-powered offense, they have a power running game. There were a couple of runs in there where Joe Mixon just kind of, him and Samaje Perine, that tandem, where they kind of lowered their shoulder on Kansas City and got a little bit physical with them. And I noticed that I'm a big proponent of the run game. And when you look at Joe Mixon and Samaje Perine, two big bruising backs, and I've been advocating for the Bills, where this, Dre, for them to get, even though I like Singletary, I think that they need like a big bruising type back, and the Bengals have that, where towards the end of the game they can just kind of beat you up with these two backs. And they're basically built the same, two Oklahoma backs that will pound you into the ground and burn some time off the clock. That's one thing that I noticed about the game.
Yeah, you know what? Something else I noticed is just the simple fact that the intensity level, it seemed like in the first half, it seemed like Cincinnati at first was there. Like they were there. They're trying to savor the moment, but at the same token, when you in the moment, you get caught in it, and it was caught. The first half, it seemed like Kansas City was like, yep, we've been here before. We're about to take it to y'all. Fine. It's 21-3 at the half, right? 21-10 at the half, actually. It ended 21-10 at the half. But then in the second half, it seemed like Cincinnati said, okay, now we here. We know what it is. Now it's time to make those adjustments. Now it's time to do what it do. And T. Higgins, boy, I tell you, T. Higgins, hell of a pickup. Gotta love his game lately. his game as of late has definitely rose. The stock should have rose on T. Higgins for sure, being the leading receiver in this game too with 6 catches, 103 yards. His stock rose. I mean, he did what he did. You got him the ball when they needed to. Jamar Chase, he played this game level. You know what? Let me talk about a guy who leveled up, Jamar Chase. I wasn't big on Jamar Chase. I'll be one who said Penei Sewell should have went to the Bengals. You know, especially when I seen my guy, Joe Cool. Joe Cool Burrow get knocked down, but I get up again. You know what I mean? 9 times, but got up 10. You know what I mean? Shout out to Cardi B. You get knocked down, but you get up 10. You know, he did it though, and he beat the Titans, and that's because obviously speed matters and intensity matters. This team has a lot of heart. Blaze, I will tell you firsthand. I'm on the fence on who I want to choose for the Super Bowl. I'm on the fence right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm still thinking about it. I got a couple of days to think about it, analyze some things. But I'm on the fence on who I want to check. Yo, listen, but I will say, Marcus the Alphabets. You want to put some respect on their name? Yeah, I need you to put some respect on their name.
I you know, me and Mona, we did a mock draft, and I think me and Mona both picked Jamar. I think we both picked Penei Sewell to go to. We didn't pick Jamar Chase to go to the Bengals.
You guys both picked Penei Sewell, I remember.
And we both picked Penei Sewell, and look, all of the mock drafts that I had him going there because of the injury that Joe Burrow suffered last year, you know, and you know, and even after watching the Titans game, I like, you can't continue to go like that, you know, you can't. I've seen really good quarterbacks get ruined, but Joe Burrow, he has a lot of heart, and he has that connection with Jamar Chase, and they're just. I mean, I think you're looking at a dynamic duo. You know, we talk about some of the dynamic duos, you know, throughout the course of NFL history. You know, you look at Rice and Montana and Aikman and Urban and Reed and Kelly and, you know, Shannon Sharp and John Elway. I think you know, hell, even now some of the dynamic duos, Diggs and Josh Allen, you guys got you got a nice little trio over there when you think about it with your receivers. You know, at the beginning of the year, I thought my wide receiver core, I just look at Jamar Chase. He's incredible. I thought he was the best. I thought he was the best wide receiver in this draft. I actually interviewed him during the LSU Pro Day. And man, this guy, he's dynamite. He's absolute dynamite. I think he's jumped up there at the upper echelon of wide receivers.
I like it.
Blaze, where you putting Jamar Chase? Since we talking upper echelon.
I probably got him definitely in my top 7. I have top 5 this year for sure. But you know, it's hard to put a rookie, you know, in the top tier. I would definitely put him top 7. I have him, I think, like 4 for the year, 3 or 4, something like that.
You look at the guys who had, you know, incredible years this year. You look definitely Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, of course, Justin Jefferson, and I think he's in the conversation. I think he's definitely in the conversation with those guys. I mean, he's got, you know, he's a big body receiver. I liked him better than I liked Devontae Smith, even though Devontae won the Heisman Trophy. To me, he was just too small. And I just thought in the physicality of the NFL game, Jamar Chase has a grown man body for a wide receiver, NFL ready body. And I think that's why he had so much success. And then he's got deceptive speed. I don't think he's Tyreek Hill as far as speed, but in that first Chiefs game, he was, you know, he had 200 something yards. I think he broke the you know, he was just running away from the Chiefs receivers. And that's funny for me to see, because it's usually the Chiefs doing that to other people. And they could not seem to stop him in that first game. And he's still, you know, great hands. And it's crazy because, you know, in the preseason, we were doubting him. He was dropping everything. He couldn't catch a cold in Alaska. And then to come out there and finish the season the way he did is truly monumental.
I see a guy named Braxton in the comments. I see his little lines on his profile picture talking about the Rams defensive line is going to eat. just because Matthew Stafford, is in the Super Bowl and he used to play for you guys, don't mean you got to go for the Rams. Go for the Cincinnati Bengals, because if you guys build your team right, that could be you in 2 years. But since it's Detroit, highly unlikely. But I see you, Braxton, in the comments.
Oh,
ouch! All right,
I think this is a testament to team building.
Yeah.
You have to hit, have to hit on your first round picks. I have people all the time. Well, why do the Cowboys are in middle of the road and stuff like that? But they've never been god awful. It's almost like you got to be god awful for a few years and it sucks. Picking number 1, picking in the top 5. What pick was Jamar Chase?
It was pick number 5.
Pick number 5. Joe Burrow's number 1. It's tough when you're out there. And this is the second number 1 quarterback pick that you've had. Carson Palmer was number 1 overall. So, when you start hitting on your draft picks, Joe Burrow is what they thought Carson Palmer would be. When you look back in retrospect, he suffered that really bad injury in the playoffs. Was that against the Steelers?
It was against the Steelers. 2005.
When he got rolled up under and tore his ACL. And I just think you've had some damn good players. You look at AJ Green was another one, top 5 kick. I think he went before Julio Jones. So number 4, and
Julio went 5 or 6. Julio went 6.
Number 6. You start hitting on some of those picks, and it can change. You look at a team like Jacksonville. You got to hit on those high picks. You got another time where you can pick number 1 overall. You picked Trevor Lawrence last year, so your scouts and the people in the front office have to make good choices. Go out there, get you a nice young coach, get you a quarterback. Protect them and put some weapons around me. You start having some success.
Yeah, I had my big board going into the draft. Not the Bengals big board, but my big board was Trevor Lawrence number 1, Penny Sewell number 2, Jamar Chase number 3, Kyle Pitts number 4, Micah Parsons number 5. So I'm glad that Micah Parsons had that year that he did to kind of justify, because people were giving me a lot of trash for having for Parsons in my top 5. And another thing that I was just joking with you, Braxton. Penny Sewell was a great pick. I saw you in the comments. I got to tease you a little bit.
Well, I think it definitely where you go to. I as much as I like Kyle Pitts, I just didn't think that the Falcons really needed him. I thought they had much other pressing needs. I thought that was kind of a wasted pick, considering where you were. But sometimes you go against the grain and things pay off. Scared money don't make no money. So you all went, I think Vegas had you all picking a offensive lineman to protect Joe Burrow, and then to go there and go against the grain and make this pick, and it's just paid off. So we'll see, going forward in the Super Bowl. Y'all been used to picking in the, getting lottery picks in the top 5. It's different when you're picking 31 or 32. So that's the real challenge, trying to find some diamonds in the rough at the back end of the draft. But, to get there and turn it around like that's incredible.
So before I read these comments in the comment section, Dalton Smith, give me a little bit of your take on what you thought was going to happen in this game and who your X factors were for this game.
Well, my X factor was Jamar Chase and Marcus. I agree on that one. They got to finish the job. And I will say this, though. I would like to apologize for the Bengals, because I thought Zach Taylor was going to be on a hot seat before his season started. He turned the Bengals around. But, thought it was going to be a high-scoring game than the Bengals and the Chiefs game.
And he was on the hot seat. I went into the year. The expectations for the Bengals this year were last in the division. Some people had us winning 7 games. I thought we'd win about 8 games, but I said my expectations to keep Zach Taylor as a coach is he had to win 9 games, period. And I'm glad that because I had him on my hot seat too, so I'm glad he could prove me wrong.
All right, let me read some of these comments in the comment section. Shout out to Jade. She said, I'm happy Kansas City is gone. William Ace, the MVP, said all fans are happy, just not Bills fans. Ramona said, I'm not. I guess she's not putting no respect on the Cincinnati Bengals name whatsoever. Being a Steelers fan.
She's a Steelers fan, so I'm
Right.
sure she don't really like
yeah, she ain't liking what she's seeing. That's fine. Is that call number or Zoom number? Okay, I put the call line number here for those who want to call in just in case. Again, you are watching Monday Night Madness. We are on YouTube. We are on Facebook. Also, other platforms as well. Make sure you call. Bang my line, man. 716-481-8249. If you're going to ask for my call line number, make sure you bang my line, all right? This ain't don't be scared, scared thoughts don't make no thoughts. All right. Now, William Ace, the MVP, of course. Listen, I'm so used to this guy. We will talk about this game later on too. Green Bay fans probably hurt too. The Rams did what Green Bay couldn't do and beat Jimmy G. Absolutely. You're right. You got it right. We ain't at that point yet. We're going to get to that point. All right. Right now, we got my guy blazing the monster machines, Gabbert, right here on the joint, rocking the AFC champions.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Cue the champagne.
All right. Uh-oh. And I'm getting a call from Virginia, so I know who this is, folks. I'm getting a call from Virginia. The caller is on the line, and I know who it is. Die Hard.
Don't be putting words in my mouth. That is not what I meant by what I tried. I've got people making excuses for the political fake schedules that they played all year. Number one defense, padded stats all the whole season. Padded stats because you're getting teams that didn't even sniff the playoffs. So come on.
Hey Ramona, that was just for shock value. Me saying that was shock value. Don't worry. We ain't putting no words in
my mouth because of what you just said.
Nah, I know.
That's not true.
I know.
Before this game started, I said I didn't think Cincinnati would win, but I wouldn't care that Cincinnati won because I really like Joe Cool. I'm the one that's been saying it every show. He's the new Joe, the new Joe Cool.
Somebody's got some feedback.
I said that probably 3 or 4 shows ago.
Yeah, that's. Are we good? All right. So feedback, we good, or is it?
I thought it had nothing to do. I thought it had nothing to do with Cincinnati.
That's the caller. All right. Yeah. So how did you feel about this?
I would much rather see Cincinnati possibly win that chip before the Cleveland Browns. There you go. How's that, babe? How's that for you?
We'll take it.
Oh, no, AFC team winning the Super Bowl, okay? I'm a Steelers fan. Of course I don't want that. But to me, what Joe Burrow has done, I watched him in college. He played and beat my college football team in the national championship. So, look, I give him all the credit in the world. I have no problem with that. Not at all. And I love seeing these young kids come into the league. Because I actually had a quarterback who came in the first season, took his team to the AFC Championship game, and in the second year went to the Super Bowl and won. Well, kudos to him. I like seeing these young players come in and being able to do things that shock the fandom of the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So who was your X factor in this game, Ramona? I need to know. I mean, you.
I tell you that the Rams split. Tennessee Titans beat not the Rams or the Niners, and I didn't care who won the Rams or Niners games. I said everyone won a game was probably going to win the Super Bowl. And the reason why I say that is Tennessee Titans sacked Joe Burrow 9 times. Their defense is not as good as the Niners defense or the Rams defense. what Cincinnati has to hope they can do is that their defense can stop the Rams offense. Because the Rams defense, I think that Von Miller and the other edge rusher on the other side, I can't think of his name, but he actually got a couple of good hits in the game on Jimmy. Didn't pack him, but I mean, was definitely putting pressure. I think.
Well, I think that's.
I don't think it's going to be as high scoring as what everybody thinks it will be, even though Joe Burrow is at the helm. I still think that their offensive line is going to lose this game. It's not going to be that Burrow can't throw the ball. It ain't going to be that they can't run. It's going to be the offensive line cannot control the Rams defense. That's where I think the problem's going to be. And I don't know that Cincinnati's defense can stop the weapons that the Rams do have. I hope they can. So, because I want to keep the chip inside the AFC. Come on.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, I'll go out without a hint and say my fault for the shock therapy and not putting, I don't want to put any words in anybody's mouth. I just figured that would get a great reaction, which it did. It got the phone call. You got to set up some things, got to be methodical with some things. I see the comment section was hella buzzing right now. You and Ace was going back and forth in the comment section. Crazy. Y'all see this?
You know what? I remember before life when Pittsburgh was 12-0, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's it was. I understood that. We had the hardest schedule in the NFL this year, and we still had a winning season. So I'm happy with that. Considering the fact that our offensive line is where it's at, aging quarterback getting ready to retire, that's all we kept hearing. Number one defense from all the Bills fans. And everybody tried to explain to them, look at the teams that you play this year. You have had that schedule all season long. Yes, they won games they should have won with some winning football teams. But they also faced the Atlanta Falcons, a rookie quarterback in New England who does not have the talent that Joe Burrow did his rookie year.
Oh, Mac Jones. Hey, Ramona.
On that offense, in my opinion.
Hey, Ramona, I sent you an invite in your inbox because I think we hear a lot of background. I sent you a StreamYard inbox so you can come on and talk that talk.
I can't come. I got a house full. I got a house full.
Okay.
I just had to call in when you were putting words in my mouth. So.
She won't let it go. She won't let me go with that. All right. Thank you for calling in, Ramona. We got Nebraska and California calling in too. Let me get to that call real quick. Thank you again, Die Hard, calling in. Nebraska, what's up?
What's up, Andre?
What's good?
This Braxton.
Braxton in the house. What's up, Braxton?
Hey, I talked to you in a while, man.
What's good, my guy?
Tell me. The Bengals kill the Rams.
Y'all heard that.
I like what I'm hearing.
I'm not like these other Lions fans. I'm not rooting for a team my team gets draft picks from.
Ooh, okay. Respect it.
So I'm gonna say go Bengals and beat the Rams.
I like it. I appreciate it.
I didn't know that there were Lions fans, so it's good.
Wait, he said Nebraska. Does he like the University of Nebraska as well?
Like,
No, I'm from Flint.
Oh, you're from Flint? I thought you said Nebraska. That's why.
No, I just live in Nebraska.
he lives in
okay.
Nebraska. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that our coach Zach Taylor used to play quarterback for Nebraska, University of Nebraska.
Yeah, I know. My girl told me about it. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Zach Taylor was the coach for the Bengals, and he used to play for Nebraska.
Yeah.
All right, so caller, real quick, I just got to ask you a question. Braxton, how surprised were you on this victory, the Bengals victory versus the Chiefs?
That was Joe Burrows. He remind me of I know it's too soon to say that, but he reminded me of a younger Tom Brady. That was Tom Brady.
And then he's also got the kicker, like how Tom Brady had Vinatieri. You know, we got Shooter Money Mac over there helping us out in times of need.
I'm not like these other Lions fans. I don't root for a team we get draft picks from and 2 first-round picks from. So fuck the Rams and fuck Stafford.
Ooh, wow. All right, and with that being said, Braxton, I want to thank you for calling in, my guy. Thank you once again. We will get predictions.
Lions, and I trust the process. Go Brad Hall.
Facts.
Definitely got to trust the process, brother. Definitely got to trust it. 2 years. We went from 6 wins in 2 years to Super Bowl. So, you know, Penny Stool was a good start. It was a good start.
Absolutely. Now, thank you very much. Thank you very much to callers. Bang my line, man. Bang my line. You watching Monday Night Madness right now. You know I had to put a little shock therapy in there. I know my lovely first lady of Rise Up Family is a little perturbed with me because I said that she ain't putting no respect on the Bengals name. But at heart, sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get people buzzing, man. You get them buzzing. Like I get Marcus the Alphabet's buzzing all the time. He gets me buzzing. We keep each other going. Blaze and the Monster Machines in the house. Blaze Gabbard is in the house. AFC champion. By the way, if you just tuned in, we are talking about the Cincinnati Bengals. We giving them their respect, their props, and what's due to them. All right, for doing what they was supposed to do. They were supposed to win. You know, they're a professional football team. They're supposed to win. Unlike, the Bills.
Yeah, I think the Bengals anyway. So
we won't. You know, I get it.
On our playoff picks.
What was your playoff?
On the Alphabets Football Show, we've been doing our playoff picks, our playoff pick'ems. Dalton is tied for the lead with the most wins. He's 9-3. He's 9-3, and he went undefeated. And he went undefeated this week, and he went 2-0 this week.
Look at Dalton. Me and Dalton going undefeated this week.
Dalton picked the Bengals. We had a guy who was 8-2 last week, who was leading. He was standing alone. It was he was 8-2, and everybody else was like 8-3 or something like that. Dalton went 2-0 this week. He's tied with the leader, who was the leader last week. They're both 9-3, and Dalton's playing in the playoff pick'ems Super Bowl next week.
Let's go, Dalton, man! I swear you're a winner in life, and a winner on these shows, man. I swear. If there's one that I definitely give a whole hell of a lot of props to, man, it's my guy Dalton D-Man Smith for sure. Kudos to you, man.
It's way too early to break down the Super Bowl game, but I'm gonna say you ride with us, you're gonna win it, baby.
Absolutely. Now.
Oh, by the way, Dre, before you go next one, I want to shout out to Dan Lansky, like who the other day is her birthday. Happy birthday, Jade.
Happy birthday, Jade.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, for sure. I just want to give some stats real quick before we get to the next one. I just want to, Joe Burrow, 23 38, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns. One of those no-nos. Don't do that. Patrick Mahomes, 26 to 39, 275, 3 touchdowns. Had 2 of those. Don't do that, including the one in 13 seconds that in overtime that cost the Kansas City Chiefs to go home. Now, right now, I just want to know, put it in the comment section for those who are listening on YouTube and on Facebook and other platforms. Which one would you rather have, the Patrick Price or the Rodgers rate? Okay, with that being said, we're gonna keep these stats going. Which one would you rather have, the Patrick Price or the Rodgers rate? Joe Mixon, 21 carries, 88 yards, carrying that offense, that running game that Marcus alluded to about the power game. Jaron McKinney looked pretty good this offseason, this playoff season. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if the Chiefs keep him or not, but he looked pretty decent. He had 12 carries in this one, 65 yards, averaging 5 a carry. T. Higgins. Oh, and I got another call, as you can hear it. California's calling, folks. We got T. Higgins, 103 yards, leading the Bengals. We got Travis Kelce had 10 catches, 95 yards, and a touchdown. Jamar Chase had 54 yards in the score. Tyreek Hill had 7 catches, 78 yards in the score, but did not have a catch in the second half. Did not. They kept him catchless in the second half. Mecole Hardman actually was doing some harm to the Bengals early, but wasn't enough. 52 yards, 3 catches, and a touchdown in this one. All right. Fumbles, costly. I mean, Kansas City had 2 of them, right? They had 2 fumbles in which, the Cincinnati Bengals wasn't able to recover, but those 2 fumbles definitely were significant for sure. One of them took Kansas City right out of the red zone with the one. Nice pursuit on Patrick Mahomes. I think that was Hubbard, right? Was that Hubbard who got him?
Yeah, so. And then we also had that one at the end of the game that almost sealed the game, but they landed on it and kicked the field goal to go overtime. So.
Correct. Absolutely. Von Bell, BJ Hill with 2 interceptions, with interception piece in this one. Snead had an interception for the Kansas City Chiefs, and you know what the rest and how the rest goes. The AFC champions are the Cincinnati Who Dat Bengals. All right.
Let's go.
Got a caller on the line.
Whoa. Not who that. That's the Saints. Who
they?
Who they? You had the Saints fans leaving you some nasty grams, man. Don't say that. Don't do that.
Okay. Well, who that? Who is that? Who they? Caller on the line. What's up?
What's going on, Jay? It's Dez.
Dez, what's good? Calling in from Cali.
Man,
California love.
I gotta say, well, first off, congratulations to the Bengals.
Appreciate it.
That was a really hard fought off game. A lot of people want to keep sitting there talking about Joe Burrow. How about, can we give that defense some credit? Forget the offense, because your offense looked sluggish. Let's keep it real. But that defense, to go out there and do what they did against the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City, why is the defense not getting enough love? Why is it the Joe Burrow show when in reality it was that defense?
The defense definitely. It's an attitude.
That defense really did a really great job of containing that team, especially in the second half. Now, of course, there were some drop passes by the offense, footsteps or whatever. But can we give some credit to that defense for putting the offense in those situations to even come
definitely.
out?
The defense definitely showed up in the second half.
You know
That's
what I
real
mean?
talk. That's real talk, Des. That really is.
Let's be real. The Bengals, yes, they made it to the Super Bowl. But like you said, hey, Marcus, this is the same thing you said. You got to finish, right? You got to finish. Coming in second, it's not good enough.
No moral victories.
We don't do moral victories, especially over here. Okay, we don't do moral victories. If you're going to go there, you better win it. Now, you guys have a really tough matchup against the St. Louis Rams. Oh, sorry. The LA Rams, my bad. You know what I mean? So don't think that, it's going to be a cakewalk. Because that defense is serious. That defense is hungrier than the offense. Last night against my Niners, they proved it.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. I forgot Dad's Niners fan.
Yeah. That
showing
defense
respect.
came out. I mean, you had some help with horrible play calling, but, that's besides the point.
Yeah, we're not gonna go there, Jimmy G.
We ain't even got to the NFC Championship yet. We about
to get there. We getting there. Actually, you know what? We are there. Why not?
Segue.
We might as well segue right in. We got California love in the house calling from California. We might as well go to the two California teams for the NFC championship game. And hi, Amber. How you doing? I see you, Amber. What's going on with you? Shout out to you. Listen, this one was a dogfight, folks. Oh, and Marcus corrected me on something. He said, don't say who that, because who they and who that is two different things. But guess what? I'm going to bring up who that again. Who that said OBJ was washed up? Who that said that OBJ couldn't play? Who that? I just want to know who that. Was it who they? Was it who that?
We didn't. I didn't say he was washed up, but he definitely has lost a step. I'm glad. I mean, congratulations for making it to the Super Bowl. But you know what I mean? Let's not act like he's just as explosive as he once was.
Well, last night he was quite explosive.
Oh yeah, true. That is a true statement.
When it mattered, he was explosive. Last night.
I think this goes to show that there's two ways that you can build a team. You can, there's not a set way that you have to build your team. You look at the Bengals, they're more homegrown talent. Joe Burrow drafted, Joe Mixon drafted, T. Higgins drafted, Jamar Chase drafted, and then you got a team that's kind of, I don't want to say that they bought their way.
You mean free agency base?
And the Rams are more free agent. I mean, Jalen Ramsey didn't start with them. He started with the Jags. You look at Matthew Stafford, the Lions. You look at Odell Beckham Jr., the Giants. So it's not a set way to do stuff. You got to have front offices that are willing to, with you guys, y'all drafted very well. With them, they've made some outstanding free agent. They've kind of thrown all of their chips into the center of the table. Odell Beckham, you have to look at where players are in their career. Is Odell Beckham Jr., the guy who made the one-handed catch on Monday Night Football, still lost the game to my Cowboys. But, he's not that player anymore, but he's still a pretty damn good player, and he doesn't have to be a number one now. He's a damn good number two behind, because we already seen what Cooper Kupp did this year. So it's a really nice, a really nice mix between Cooper Kupp and Odell Beckham Jr. and Van Jefferson. And let's not forget that they had Bobby Trees, Robert Woods, who they lost for the year. Bringing in a Sony Michel after they thought Cam Akers would be out for the year. So there's not a set way to build a team. So let's take that into consideration as well.
All right. Well, I got something to take into consideration that you didn't mention. I think OBJ has become a more mature player as well. Maturity is important, I think, in a lot of aspects, in a lot of ways. We have seen players literally miss the Hall of Fame or get cut back from the Hall of Fame due to maturity. I think his maturity level is at a high now that he's in LA. He's found a place to be at. He's mature. You would think LA would make him even more immature than being in New York. New York, the Giants, the Jersey fan base. We in the LA fan base now. The California dreaming fan base. But no, he's actually a lot more mature. What I seen last night was OBJ, the new OBJ. I won't say the old OBJ. I seen the new one who knows how to be a role player, the one who knows how to go make plays and do what he needs to do to help his team. You see what I'm saying? And I can appreciate that OBJ being a guy who was.
Can we also say that there's some garbage dumpster juice franchises? Can we say that too? Is that fair? That ruined players' careers. Detroit Lions, Cleveland Browns, because you look at where these players are coming from. They're coming from organizations that let's keep it a buck. The Detroit Lions have ruined people's careers. They ruined Barry Sanders. They ruined Megatron, and it seems like they ruined Matthew Stafford. They didn't know what to do with Ndamukong Suh. People forget Ndamukong Suh was like the number 2 pick in the draft. You have some franchises. They don't know what the hell to do with their players. They don't. And it's about getting the right people in the right situations. The Bengals You know, y'all kept when y'all had Marv Lewis, y'all kept going to the playoffs and getting bounced in the first round. You know, then you go and you make some trades, you know, and draft well and do stuff like that. Got one of our caps off, Awuzie. I still don't think he can cover. Eli Apple, he was a bum with the Giants. A lot of people thought he was a bum with the Saints. You know, now he's talking smack to Tyreek Hill, having a Twitter war with dude. You're lucky to still be in the league. What are you talking about? You know,
listen, the Cincinnati Bengals are 50.
And he also
there's
did
52
a bad
guys
Twitter
on the
on the
team
Saints
and
too.
Eli Apple. That's what the Bengals are. 52 guys on a roster and Eli Apple. He's got a mind of his own.
He's terrible. He got a little mouth. A says it right here. Detroit, Cleveland, Jacksonville. Detroit, Matthew Stafford. Cleveland, Odell Beckham Jr. Jacksonville, Jalen Ramsey.
And I will say,
you get out of that situation and look where you're at.
Yeah, and you could put the Bengals on that list too. We had the Marvin Lewis. We lost all those playoff games. But one of the things we did with this team and the team that's going to the Super Bowl is we had some good players like Geno Atkins and Carlos Dunlap and A.J. Green. And these guys weren't quite done playing yet. But we had to just, get rid of them for the sake as we're bringing a new culture in. And that's what you got to do with some of these teams. You got to bring a new culture in.
Burn it all down. Burn it all down and start all over.
And then build it back up. Start from scratch.
Yeah.
All right. Again, we are, if you just tuning in, this is Monday Night Madness. The fire starters in the building, the alphas in the building, the most consistent one is here, and Blaze and the Monster Machines, Gabbard is in the building too. Man, listen, we are talking about the NFC Championship game right now, where obviously you seen me put it up. The Rams are the NFC champions by winning 20-17 last night in a thriller. You guys, I need to know what you thought about this game. Let's break this joint down analytically a little bit and get some thoughts on it. Who was your X factors, things of that nature? What did y'all see?
Let me. I wanted to respond. A says even Denver for Von Miller. Von Miller had success in Denver. I don't want to put Von Miller in the same category as Jacksonville, Detroit, and Cleveland. Let's not forget what Von Miller did. Let's not forget what Von Miller did against Cam Newton in that Super Bowl, where they had Cam Newton running for his life the whole game. That 2015, 2016 Broncos versus the Panthers team. So I just think that he didn't want to be part of a rebuild. And we've had players say that I don't want to be part of a hell. Aaron Rodgers has said that, hey, we're this much over the salary cap limit, and I don't want to be here for a total rebuild, which is fine. You get to a certain level in your career, you don't want to have to start all over. So, yeah. But as far as this game, I'm gonna say, repeat it with me, guys. Y'all ready? Are y'all ready? You ready, Jay? Jimmy G is not a good quarterback. All of these quarterbacks that I be telling, I done told y'all about certain quarterbacks, and all I heard was, all he does is win. All he does is win. On the Alphabet Football Show, I put up his stats next to Trent Dilfer. Okay? They're not winning because of you. They're winning despite you. Okay? Carson Wentz, not a good quarterback. Ryan Tannehill, not a good quarterback. And Jimmy G, even though he made it to the championship game, is not a good quarterback. That's it. Don't listen to this guy saying Detroit ruined other dude. Braxton Hills. Okay, we just went to a 16 game. We just went to a 17 game schedule. Do you know that in 101 year history, there's only 2 teams that have gone 0-16? Do you know the 2 teams? Does everybody know the 2 teams that went 0-16? You can't win a game. Don't you ever put the Dallas Cowboys and the Detroit Lions in the same. Jerry Jones is a Hall of Fame owner. Okay, remember that. He ain't ever went 0-16. He went 1-15. He ain't ever went 0-16. So stop it. You're 0-16. The Detroit Lions are not one of just the worst football teams out there. They're one of the worst sports teams in all the sports: soccer, baseball, badminton, whatever. They're a bad organization. Stop it. Jimmy G's not a good quarterback.
Well. I'm glad that y'all got that off your chest.
This one to say that. He said Jerry Jones has ruined the cap. Let me tell y'all something real quick before we go to this, because I want to respond to this. Jerry Jones is a pain in the ass. Jerry Jones he's actually a good owner. Okay, his main issue is he's a fan too, and as an owner, you can't be a fan. You have to make business decisions. But here's the reason. For all the people out there that say, oh, well, the Cowboys haven't won a Super Bowl in 26 years, okay? Well, the Detroit Lions have never won a Super Bowl. Never. Okay, so remember that. And as we all see, Blaze, you see it, it's hard to win a Super Bowl. The Bengals have never won. The Bengals have never, this is y'all's third time going to the Super Bowl. Y'all done lost twice to the 49ers, to Joe Montana.
Let me piggyback off that Jerry Jones thing. Our owner, Mike Brown, was said to be one of the worst owners in sports. A couple years ago, 2 years ago, he stepped down, took a little less power, and you got to put people in the spots to do their jobs. You can't own and GM and be a fan of the team. You got to hire people to do that stuff. And he's actually a great owner. He's great with the players, great people person. He shows up to practice, but he had to take that responsibility off his back because he's not a GM. And it's been a huge difference over the last 2 years for him stepping down in that spot.
I think also that the issue they were having with Mike Brown was they felt like he wasn't spending the money. Yeah, and that was what it was with a lot of people. He wasn't really going out there and spending the money. And, everybody in the NFL with the revenue sharing, they all get the same amount of money. And it's like you still have all of this free money out there. You're not spending the money, and it shows with the with the product on the field. So sometimes you have to step back, do a self-evaluation, be like, the way that we're doing business right now is not working. We need to change some things up. That's all.
Exactly.
But another thing, Jimmy G is not a good quarterback. Look, I said it when we started this show. The football gods giveth. And what? And what? The football gods taketh away. Okay? Y'all been getting by the skin of your teeth. Jimmy G throwing picks. He nearly gave away the game to the Cowboys in the first round of the playoffs. You barely made it in the playoffs because the Saints ended up losing. If the Saints win, y'all aren't even in the damn playoffs. So you got by with the skin of your teeth. You got in. You kept getting lucky breaks. Jimmy G wasn't playing that great. He hadn't thrown a touchdown in 3 weeks. He's 2-6, 2 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. Okay, and it just caught up to you. It caught up to you. You can't keep your quarterback has got to make plays. So that's what I expected. I picked the Rams to win because I don't trust Jimmy G. They thought so much of Jimmy G, they went and used the third overall pick on Trey Lance to replace him. That's what they thought of Jimmy G. So that's what it was for me.
Want to go ahead, Blaze, or what?
What'd you say? Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. For the first half of that San Francisco and Rams game, I was out there celebrating, smoking cigars, still living in my moment. And then I realized, there's more football going on. Let me go see who our opponent's going to be. I tuned in at the second half of the game, 10-7. Deebo Samuels was doing Deebo things. That guy is amazing. Just as easy as we can talk about Jimmy G, say he's not a good quarterback. If Stafford would have lost that game, it would have been the same conversation about Stafford, I believe a lot of people would be having. But the Rams, they gave up a first-round pick to get Stafford, and that's the difference. And you just said that the San Francisco 49ers used the number 3 overall draft pick to get Trey Lance. I was saying towards the end of the season with the playoffs on the line that they should have went with Trey Lance and try and start that transition. In a sense, I was wrong because they've gotten this far. But the Rams defense is a problem.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Dalton.
All right.
Well, We all know Jimmy G is Matt Castle 2.0. He ain't no good quarterback. And Debo doing this thing like he's a good wide receiver. And Cooper Kupp, he's an MVP favorite. So kudos to Cooper Kupp. And we all agree, Odell Beckham, he is not a number one wide receiver anymore. I mean, let's not forget, he replaced Deshaun Jackson, who got out with the Rams because he went to the Raiders. And the Lions, they trade Matthew Stafford, which he's not his prime anymore. Broncos trade Von Miller. He's not his prime anymore. And, the Browns, they cut Odell Beckham. And Odell, he's not in his prime anymore. Jalen Ramsey, well, he's in his prime when Jaguars traded him. And they expect it's going to be 3 points. So I thought I did pick the Rams to win, but I didn't see it was going to be 3 points. That would be like by 7 points, I would say. But Jimmy G, you're done. This is your last game of the 49ers. You're going to go a different team. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I can appreciate the Rams coming back 13 points in the fourth quarter. Finally getting the monkey off their back. I think it had been 6 straight times that they had lost to the 49ers, not being able to get the monkey off their back. They dominated the fourth quarter. And once again, we got to see Jimmy G choke it up again in the fourth quarter of the game. I don't know if y'all remember the Super Bowl against Kansas City where he choked it up. Couldn't hit an ocean if it was wide open. But I watched it again where the Rams just took it to that offense. And Aaron Donald's going to be he's going to be a factor in this one, Blaze. I can't even lie to you. It's going to be tough. You're going to have to hold that big fella down. That big fella's coming. You know he's coming. That big fella, Aaron Donald, ain't no joke. Von Miller ain't no joke. These guys are seasoned. Von Miller's a seasoned vet, been to the Super Bowl multiple times.
Yeah, the unfortunate part is Von Miller also comes off the right side of our line. Our right guard and right tackle are barely backup reserves, for a normal NFL team. Both of those guys are terrible.
Well, I think, you definitely got it. Part of the game plan should be, and we're going to break it down more in a couple of weeks, not this week, but the Friday before the Super Bowl. Blaze is going to be on with us. We're going to break it down and make our picks then, but they definitely got their work cut out for them. No doubt about it. Definitely. There's it's a game of matchups. We always talk about football and matchups, and there's a lot of matchups. Jamar Chase, we talk about how wonderful a player he is, but Jalen Ramsey is a beast in his own right. So we're gonna break that all down in 10 days or whatever it is. But yeah, you are right, Dre. He is a problem. Aaron Donald, you're not gonna hear me, trying to slight that guy in the slightest. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, at the end of the day, Matthew Stafford was 31 of 45, 337, 2 touchdowns, and one, oh, no, don't do that. But that, oh, no, don't do that didn't cost them the game. His play in the second half was phenomenal. Again, like I said, in the fourth quarter, you would have thought that the San Francisco 49ers was going to ride off with another opportunity to the Super Bowl if this was 3 quarters of the game, being up 17-7. Jimmy G, 16 to 30.
My last memory of that game is him getting pressured. With the game on line, he flicked that football like a booger and got it picked off. I was like, what is this guy doing? So it was third down. It was 3rd and 14. Man, you got to live to fight another down. Like you can't just take the sack. Okay, it's 4th and 20. Okay, that's fine. Instead of you throwing it and it's game over. He just threw the ball up like a hot potato, and that was it. And that's the stuff that I'm talking about. You can't make, Jimmy G. Look, what year did Jimmy G get drafted? Oh, that's a good
It's
question.
not like it's. But I'm just saying it's not. It's not. I expect her. Who plays more like a veteran, Joe Burrow or Jimmy G?
Oh, it's Joey B.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Joe.
Joe Burrow's in his second year, and you're saying, why are we putting this on Jimmy G? Because as a veteran quarterback, there are certain mistakes that you should not still just be making. There's just certain mistakes you can't. Dude, you've been in the year 6, 7, 8 years, and you're still doing rookie mistakes. Just throwing the ball up. You're in your you're on your side of the field. You're about to take a sack. Take the sack. You're going down and you just throw the ball up in the air. Come on, man. That's rookie stuff, and that's the stuff that and you've been getting away with it. You nearly threw the game away against the Cowboys in the first round. You threw that interception when the Cowboys were making their comeback. So that's what I'm trying to say. Can you just put it all on Jimmy G? No. I mean, it probably helps if whenever Matthew Stafford threw that ball up and it hit the guy right in the hands and he didn't come down with it. But you can't make those mistakes. You can't. You just can't make those kind of mistakes. And that's why a lot of times when an average quarterback is out there and they got a rookie, it's like if you're the veteran and you're still making rookie mistakes, and guess what? I'm gonna roll with the rook. You're making rookie mistakes. I might as well put the guy out there who we don't know what his ceiling is. Jimmy G is what he is. He's a Jag and not a Jacksonville Jag. He's just a guy. He's just a guy. That's what he is. What's up, Dez?
While we on the subject, well, if you get rid of Jimmy, you got to get rid of Kyle.
I don't.
No. Okay.
I don't think so. Well, you're a San Francisco fan, right?
Since Kyle's got here without Jimmy as his quarterback, he's 8-27. So what has he showed you to make you think that changing the quarterback is going to help?
Honestly,
he's gone to an NFC. He's gone to 2 NFC championship games and a Super Bowl.
Correction. Next point. What happens when you give Kyle Shanahan an MVP quarterback?
He loses
in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
We do talk about there's no moral victories.
What does he do? He loses in the Super Bowl. You had a lead in both Super Bowls going into the fourth quarter. You have the only 2 losses in Super Bowl history with the lead.
I got you on that, family.
So when the Niners put up 30 points, 28 points, he looks like a genius, right? When they don't, it's Jimmy's fault. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you are... Wait
a minute. Are you saying we giving the coach too much? We giving the coach too much props?
Your offense to your quarterback? That's what Andy Reid does.
Wait a minute, Dez. Are we saying we giving the coach too much props and putting too much on Jimmy?
I said that from the day we signed him.
Oh, drop them jewels. Dez, drop them.
Super Bowl?
But
your quarterback was the MVP of the year, 2016, when you went to the Super Bowl, and you choked it. You choked it with your play call.
Okay, if you want to put the blame on Kyle like that, what have the Atlanta Falcons been since he left? What have the Atlanta Falcons been since Kyle Shanahan left?
They still don't have a Super Bowl with
him. That's not what I asked you. That ain't what I asked you. What have they been? Now, you said they went to the Super Bowl. What have they been since he's left?
They've been a mediocre team.
Picking in the top 5?
They've been a mediocre team.
Not mediocre. No, mediocre. Mediocre.
They're mediocre. They're not as bad as people are portraying them to be. That's the thing.
When you're picking in the top 5, family, when you're picking in the top 5, that's not mediocre. There's a difference between mediocre and atrocious. I think you're getting mediocre and atrocious mixed, confused with each other. Mediocre is 8-8, 7-9, 9-7.
Okay,
8-8.
Okay, you got me there.
Atrocious is having a lottery pick every year. And get where the Atlanta Falcons picking this year? Top 5?
I don't
top
know
4 or
exactly
5. I think they got what 3 or 4 games.
Don't they have a couple picks?
I think they only got
They
one.
traded,
Oh yeah, they
right?
got
a couple picks.
They got one.
I know
at the
the
back
Giant.
end of the
I know
draft.
the Giant. I know. Look, what this all goes back to is it's hard to win Super Bowls. That's why I always get mad when people, oh man, you haven't done this in so long. There's only one Super Bowl winner at the end of each year. You have some franchises that have never been to the Super Bowl. You have some franchises that have gone went 4 years in a row and haven't won. You got some teams that have gone gone twice, going to their third one now. Bengals, they haven't won, but they've been. It's hard to win Super Bowls. You go out there and you try to get a quarterback. Jimmy G, they thought that maybe Jimmy G would be that guy because hindsight's always 2020. They thought we're going to go out there, get a former Patriots quarterback. He sat behind Tom Brady. He knows, he's a pretty decent quarterback. We'll put some weapons around him. He's just a guy. There's this myth. This is the myth right here, Des, that anything that comes from the Patriot organization is going to be successful. That's the real myth. All these quarterbacks, Matt Castle, Jimmy G, Jacoby Brissett, he played with the Patriots. If we put him somewhere else, he's been with the Patriot way. Okay, there's only one Tom Brady. The same myth that we think that coaches that come from the Patriots are going to come and do something. Bill O'Brien, Adam Gase, and all of these cartoon characters. That's the myth that we got to get away with. Kyle Shanahan's a good quarterback. Jimmy G was never really his first choice, okay? He was never really his first choice. Sometimes as a coach, you got to see, okay, you put a Band-Aid on something. For instance, Sean McVay. They went out and they, he inherited Jared Goff. He went to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff. And you know what he said? I can't win with this guy. This guy is not the guy. He's not the guy. Then you get a guy like Matthew Stafford who had never won a playoff game in his 12 years in the NFL. His first year, he gets traded to a decent organization, and he's in the Super Bowl.
I mean, let's not act like him not getting a playoff win in his career was his fault. Let's not act like that.
That's what I was saying. Well, that's what I was saying about the Lions organization. You responded to me saying that the Lions organization. Remember this, Des. Mediocre and atrocious. Don't get the two confused. The Detroit Lions are an atrocious organization. They could mess up ice. If you told them to bring you a glass of ice water, they could mess up the order, bro. That's what the Detroit Lions are. If you put the brains of the Detroit Lions in a bird, it fly backwards, bro. That's how bad that organization is.
Oh, Marcus, I want to come back to the subject we're on, Kyle Shanahan. Let me ask you a question. Are the Dallas Cowboys a head coach away from a Super Bowl?
Yes. And hear me out on this. Hear me out on this. No, they're owner away from a Super Bowl because Jerry Jones at this stage, he won't go hire a coach that would need the control to go win it. They've had good head coaches, Jimmy Johnson, Bill Parcells, but I think his meddling, you're never going to bring in a coach worth his weight because Jerry Jones interferes too much. But to say that the Dallas Cowboys, but again, I don't want us to get those two words mixed up. Mediocre versus atrocious. There's a difference. What do you think, Dre?
I will tell you what, the San Francisco running game was atrocious in this one as they carried the ball 20 times for 50 yards. Deebo Samuels had 26 yards carrying. Elijah Mitchell, who had been a stud pretty much majority of the season with his opportunities, only had 20 yards on 11 carries. in this one. Deebo Samuels is a stud, though, nevertheless, with his 72 yards and a touchdown in this game. I think that guy is like top 5 receiver in the league for this season. Cam Akers, 48 yards on his 13 carries. Cooper Kupp shows once again why he is the best wide receiver this year. The best wide receiver this year in football, as he dropped 142 yards on 11 catches. Odell Beckham, like I said, balled out 9 catches, 113 yards in this one. Cooper Kupp had 2 touchdowns to add on to the scoring. So it'll be the Rams against the Bengals coming up. We know what the Super Bowl is going to be. We're going to save those predictions. We're going to save those predictions for another show. I know Marcus has his show on Friday.
I want to say one last thing. Does everybody remember the game last week where Brandon Ayuk was wide open? Brandon Ayuk was wide open and Jimmy G threw it over his head. Do you see what I'm saying? When you play it, the football gods giveth and the football gods take it away. Okay? Jimmy G got lucky. And look, I know it's all about wins and losses. He threw an interception when the Cowboys were making their comeback in the wild card round. Last week against the Packers, he did nothing in that game. He missed a wide open Brandon Ayuk. He got bailed out by a block punt that was returned for the 49ers scored 3 points. Their special team scored 10. Okay, so yes, I put the. Now let me ask you this too, Des. Where do you rank Deebo Samuel as far as wide receivers? Top 10, top 5? Where do you put Deebo Samuels at?
That's tough. That's tough because he's
not really a pure wide receiver.
Exactly. He's a hybrid. He's what you call a football player.
He's a weapon. He's a weapon. But would you say he's a top 10 player in the league?
Yes.
Okay. Blaze, do you put Deebo Samuel as a top 10 offensive player in the NFL?
Top 10 offensive player, yes. And he was definitely in my top. I think he was like number 5 or 6 on my receivers.
Okay. Where do you put George Kittle at as far as tight ends?
I put him around maybe 3, 4.
Okay. Their running game. Now they don't have like one guy, but where do you rank the San Francisco 49ers running back core?
Just their run offense. I'm not going to say like running backs. The way they run the ball, it's got to be.
Yeah,
like
they don't have a Derrick
3.
Henry or they don't have a Derrick Henry or a Jonathan Taylor. Where is their running game? Where do you rank their running game at?
I'd probably 3, 4.
Okay, where do you rank their offensive line at with Trent Williams? Where do you put Trent Williams at as a offensive lineman?
He's definitely number one tackle.
What other quarterback, when you give him all of that? You got a top 3 tight end. You got a top 3 rushing offense. You got a top 4, 5 offensive player, Deebo Samuel, a wide receiver running back combo that you can line up all over the field. And you go out there and you can't throw a touchdown in 3 weeks.
I was waiting for you to say quarterback. After saying top 3, I was waiting for you to say quarterback. I was going to say probably about 25.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We had 8 quarterbacks that went into the playoff weekend. Do you know where Jimmy G was ranked at by consensus between him and Ryan Tannehill? You know where he was ranked?
Where?
Dead last. Dead last. You look at all the quarterbacks that were in the playoffs. Is he better? I know he beat Aaron Rodgers, but if I say it right now, you can have Aaron Rodgers or Jimmy G. Who are you taking?
Oh, that ain't a question. That's not a question. You find me somebody that says take Jimmy G, they're lying.
So I'm just saying, you can't look at stuff like that. Jimmy G is an average. You put any other top-notch quarterback behind that San Francisco with San Francisco there, you just need your quarterback to make 2 or 3 plays there. That's all that you need. Jimmy G finds a way to do stuff, and he keeps getting bailed out. And his luck ran out yesterday. He should have been gone in the first round, and probably the second round. You don't throw a touchdown in 3 weeks? Come on now. 2-6? 2-6 in the playoffs. 2-6 in the playoffs. 2 touchdowns and 6 interceptions in the playoffs. That's what Jimmy G was.
No, that's definitely not
That's
acceptable.
not mediocre. That's not mediocre. What's the word? Atrocious.
That's atrocious.
I was gonna say god awful,
But that brings me to the same point is your
By the
play
way, bro,
calling.
that hoodie looks good on you, family. That hoodie looks real good on you, man. Like that.
Always gotta represent. Always.
Real nice. Real good. Very nice.
But that also brings me back to the same point where in the first half, Jimmy G looked great. People can say what they want. Jimmy G looked great. When Kyle Shanahan was letting him rip, he was ripping. Okay? Then you got 17-7. Okay.
And that would be all fine and well, Des, if a football game was only 2 quarters instead of 4.
Let me paint a picture. If I told you as a head coach that you will be in the 4th quarter and your opponents would have no timeouts, what would you think?
You would think that team would win. You would think that team would win. Again, you're making my argument for you. Jimmy G.
My whole thing is it's not just Jimmy. If you get rid of Jimmy, you got to get rid of Kyle. You have to. He's 8-27. 8-27 as the 49ers head coach when Jimmy G is not his quarterback. What has he shown you?
Do you know what Kyle Shanahan has that's going to help him out and why they're going to give him leeway? You want to know what it is? He's young. Everybody keeps forgetting that Bill Belichick, okay? Everybody considered Bill Belichick the GOAT coach, right? Anybody remember Bill Belichick when he was playing with Bernie Kosar with the Cleveland Browns back in the day? Anybody remember that? When he kept getting his ass cooked by John Elway. Does anybody? I'm probably one of the oldest people up here. I'm 47 years old. I remember that when the Cleveland Browns used to get their ass cooked by teams like the Denver Broncos, John Elway back in the day. The Drive. It's actually the Drive where John Elway drove them the length of the field and won the game and kept putting the Cleveland Browns out. And everybody thought nobody's perception of Bill Belichick was what it was when he was a young coach with the Browns. Sometimes you got to go through heartaches, and then suddenly Bill Belichick goes to the New England Patriots, gets Tom Brady, and all of a sudden he has 6 championship rings.
I don't like that analogy.
But it's the truth.
No. You know why? You know what's the difference between Bill Belichick and Kyle Shanahan besides the obvious?
What's that?
Bill Belichick's not known for his offense, and that's the problem. You keep hiring these offensive guys to be your head coaches who are running your offense, and they forget that defense wins championships.
Got you. And those are mistakes that can be – those are mistakes. Look, obviously they're a good football team if they've been to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years, right?
They are one hell of a football team.
Okay, so you make little tweaks. It's not like you got to blow up. Now, Blaze, we were just talking about blowing things up and starting from scratch. They don't have to start from. They need to make a tweak here, a tweak there, and one of them is getting a better quarterback because Jimmy G. Let me ask you this: hypotheticals. We don't like to do a whole bunch of hypotheticals, but we'll do it here. What does Aaron Rodgers do if he goes to the San Francisco 49ers?
Number 1 team in the NFC.
No, I disagree. I would rather take Tom Brady over Aaron Rodgers right now.
If you put Aaron Rodgers on the San Francisco 49ers, what they have, well, you need to get used to the prospect of maybe Aaron. I know you're a Packers fan, family.
No, sir. I'm not talking about you. Even though I'll mute your mic too if you keep going talking to San Francisco Aaron Rodgers here. You, sir, down there with the Rise Up Family hoodie that I like so much. If you tell me Tom Brady one more time over Aaron Rodgers, I'm gonna mute your mic too.
Listen, you asked me a year ago, I would have said Tom Brady over Aaron Rodgers. No. This year, can I say why?
Why?
What does Tom Brady do best out of any quarterback in the league?
Lets his running back run. They get the
What
run
does
game
he
going.
do that no other quarterback does better?
He's clutch.
He gets
He's
the ball
clutch.
out of his hands.
Okay.
You have more than enough. You have George Kittle. You have Brandon Ayuk. You have Deebo Samuel.
Okay.
Why do I need a long developing play from a play action? We're gonna let Aaron Rodgers throw it deep. I don't need that. What I need is a quarterback to come in, understand this offense, hand the ball off when he needs to, and when he needs to, boom, I'm gonna dump it off.
Okay, let me ask you this.
I'm gonna dissect you like that. That's why right now I would rather have Tom Brady than Aaron Rodgers right now.
Okay, now let me tell you that you're a 49ers fan. How did the 49ers keep beating the Green Bay Packers?
That defense slowing Aaron.
You know what
Rodgers
they
down.
you know what they do to them? I'm going to tell you what they do. They
Oh,
roll
they win the ball.
they roll covers.
They're more physical than the Packers. Let's be real.
They're so physical that they scored 3 points. They scored 3 points, and their special teams. Don't get special teams and defense mixed up. Blocking a punt.
Aaron
Blocking
Rodgers
a
put
punt.
7 points, right?
Okay, now check this out.
And after that was it.
Okay, now check this out. If you put Aaron Rodgers on the San Francisco 49ers, they cannot play him like the way that they play him in Green Bay. Because you know what teams do? It's hard. It's really hard. But the San Francisco 49ers, sometimes you just meet somebody who has your number. Evander Holyfield had Mike Tyson's number.
Mike Tyson, yep.
The Kansas City Chiefs have the Bills' number, it seems, pretty much. Sometimes you're just a bad matchup against somebody.
I agree.
If Aaron Rodgers went to the 49ers, they could not just roll coverage to Devontae Adams. They could not. They couldn't do that. That's what teams do. What the San Francisco 49ers say is, we're not going to let Devontae Adams just eat. We're not. Would you rather? Now, you look at Ayuk, you look at Deebo, you look at their running game, you look at their offensive line, and you put Aaron Rodgers behind that with that defense and Aaron Rodgers extending plays and running the football and using Deebo Samuel, throwing the ball to George Kittle, throwing the ball to Brandon Ayuk, and Mitchell's that the third receiver? Is that his name? Who's that?
Yeah, it's Mitchell.
Who?
It's not Mitchell. Who's that third wide receiver?
It is.
Tall guy.
Oh,
Is his name
Juwan
Mitchell
Jennings.
too?
You want Juwan Jennings or Trent Sherfield?
Jawan what?
Juwan
James.
Jawan James, the tall guy, 6'4".
Yeah, Jennings.
You put Jennings. You put Aaron Rodgers with that. You put Aaron Rodgers with that. It's something totally different.
I
It's
agree.
something- it's
I'm not,
You know why I say it's Mitchell? Because Mitchell was the third best receiver in this game too.
Right? Coming out the backfield.
Coming out the backfield. All right, no, seriously. Speaking of which, it's funny that he mentioned Tom Brady. This just in, Tom Brady says on his podcast that Tom Brady has not decided to retire yet.
And that might be it. Maybe he was like looking at, Tom Brady's from California. Aaron Rodgers played in California. Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady both played it. Now you get to the point, hey, a one year rental, come on over here and we're gonna run it back next year. You just never know, man. That's the beauty of things. That's the beauty.
So also for those who do not know, Tom Brady is actually injured right now as well. Tom Brady actually was replaced in the Pro Bowl by Russell Wilson. Just so folks know, that might be part of the reason why he's not deciding whether he's retiring or not yet. But
the injury or the extension of the injury?
Actually, we could look it up. And I actually want to save it for another show too. As far as talking about Tom Brady, there's a bunch of things I wanted to talk about next show. We'll talk about Brian Daboll moving to the Giants head coach position. We'll talk about Ben Roethlisberger's career. We'll also talk about Tom Brady. whether he retires or not. We'll talk about that situation, and then we'll also talk about Aaron Rodgers again choking. I'm going to spice it up a little bit. Next show probably will be a debate type of show in which you can speak your mind on those topics. With that being said, for myself, I want to thank Dez for being on the show. I want to thank Dalton for being on the show. I want to thank my guy, the AFC champion, Cincinnati Bengals, super fan fanatic, and sports enthusiast, my guy Blaze and Monster Machine. Yeah,
That's right.
I want to thank my guy Marcus, the Alphabets. Watch a show on Friday coming up, the Alphabets Football Talk Show. And I want to thank all the callers. I want to thank the callers who called in. I want to thank everybody who supported this Monday Night Madness. It's going to be more. It ain't going nowhere. Monday Night Madness ain't going nowhere. We are getting back to what it used to be, with Monday Night Madness and things like that. So just keep sticking around, tuning in, supporting positivity in 2022. Don't be a hater. Don't be a hater. Okay, don't be a hater in 2022. Be a supporter. Be a blessed.
I have one comment though.
Yeah,
if you don't mind. And it's going to be interesting to see what Matt LaFleur is without Aaron Rodgers next year.
Interesting enough, we will talk about that. We will talk about that real soon. All right. Yeah. It's a lovely blessing. I also want to shout out Power 96.5, Challenger News, WDAP Radio, and again, shout out to Daddy O's Pizza and Miss Goodie's Restaurant for supporting always. And again, this is Monday Night Madness. I will see you guys again. We got a wrestling show to get to next week on the Royal Rumble, all that good stuff. We will talk about that coming up this week. Actually, I ain't gonna wait till next week. We'll get to it this week and go from there. Right?
I thought Joe Burrow was gonna be in the Royal Rumble because he's eliminating everybody.
There we go. And honestly, that's a real good way to go out. That's a good way to go out. All right, we're gonna go out like this. All right, we'll go out this way. Why not?
Everybody, good night, everybody.
Cruising.